All right, so we've been getting asked this a lot lately. Do we need to give a vitamin supplement if we're home cooking for our dogs? Does homemade dog food need a vitamin and mineral supplement? The answer is maybe, and it really depends. So let's figure out why. So let's talk about when dog food, homemade dog food, does and does not need vitamin supplements. For the most part, if you are doing it the way we do it on the channel, you probably don't need a vitamin and mineral supplement, because if you're using homemade bone broth and you're rotating your vegetables that you include in their dog food and you're rotating the colors, they should have a full complement of vitamin and minerals. But again, this depends on where you're living. Where we live, the food is super local, it's grown in good soil, and it is bursting with the actual vitamins and minerals it's supposed to have. Some places in the world don't have that advantage, so in that case, a vitamin and mineral supplement is necessary. Now, let's first talk about, and this is the worst part of it, how many dog food companies, and if you go online and search anything that has to do with vitamins or adding a certain vegetable or something, you're probably gonna see in the first Google results something from Purina or Science Diet or one of the big dog food companies talking about how, sure, you can add vegetables, but make sure you're giving them kibble from a commercial dog food like the ones we produce, because it is a quote-unquote complete diet. Now, let's talk about what a pile of garbage that is. First of all, you will notice if you go to the store today and read a bag of dog food that there are a ton of vitamins listed on the back. In the ingredients, you will see vitamin after vitamin listed. If you know where to look and what to look for, you will also notice that those vitamins are all synthetic, meaning they're not real. They are produced in a laboratory. And frankly, I feel like our dogs deserve vitamins and minerals that come from nature, from whole foods, and not those that are developed in a lab. And it's been shown a million times over, especially in humans, but same happens in dogs. Synthetic vitamins and minerals just are not absorbed as well. They're not seen by the body as for what they should be, whether it's vitamin C or vitamin D or vitamin A. The whole food source will always be superior because it is more bioavailable, meaning your dog's body can use it. So, beyond the poor absorption of the synthetic vitamins and minerals that are in dog food, we also know that those proteins, there's too many carbs, it's loaded with sugar, so let's forget about those. So if anybody ever tells you that, if a vet tech tells you that when you go, just nod and say yes and know that your home cooked food is infinitely superior to that bag of overpriced sugar. So, do you need a vitamin and mineral supplement? Here's where you will, okay? So this is probably number 2 in this list, and that is we have to talk about the giant white elephant in the room, which is calcium. Okay, so if you mention the term home cooking, or I make my dog's food, I make my dog's food at home, you will get stares and go, well, what about calcium? They need a lot of calcium. You won't get enough calcium from whole food. Listen, you easily can without using actual vitamin and mineral supplements. Now, number 1, we're gonna use foods like sardines, which have a ton of calcium. 3 ounces of sardines has as much calcium as a glass of milk. Same with anchovies, a lot of calcium. We're gonna use things like Greek yogurt and kefir, which are dairy products, which have a lot of calcium. Still not gonna be enough, so we're gonna go one of 2 ways. We can either do it naturally, and we can take some eggshells and wash them off when we're done and dry them out and then throw them into a coffee grinder, and you have pure, highly bioavailable, meaning highly usable by your dog's body, calcium. Or you can simply get a calcium supplement. This is really not rocket science, and the fact that dog food companies have instructed veterinarians and vet techs to think that calcium is this unattainable nutrient, it's really not that difficult. Go online, go to the dog store, find something in the bones and raw food line and add a calcium supplement. It can be from oyster shells, it can be from bone calcium, it can be from kelp. It really doesn't matter what the calcium source is. If it's whole food and if it's not synthetic, your dog's body will put it to use. Now, for senior dogs, calcium is obviously important for keeping their bones strong, joints healthy. If you have younger dogs or a puppy, they need even more calcium. So if you are home cooking for a puppy, make sure you add a calcium supplement to their food, at least till they become an adult, and then you can see if you want to use something more along the lines of the egg shell powder, which is a really potent form of calcium. Now, earlier we talked about using the right vegetables, rotating vegetables, using something like bone broth, which is where we're gonna get a lot of our vitamins and minerals. Why? Because when you cook something like, say, spinach, or if you cook a red cabbage, you'll notice that the color drains out of red cabbage. It becomes white, and the liquid below becomes a deep purple. Now, the old days, they would say never boil vegetables because you lose all the vitamins and minerals in the water. You do. They all go into the water that becomes the broth. So you're gonna get in a broth calcium, magnesium, you're gonna get all these things because you're using both bones and vegetable scraps. So the more varied you can use vegetable scraps, you can use carrots, you can use red cabbage, green cabbage, you're going for colors, even a little bit of tomato paste. This is how we're gonna get not only the vitamins and minerals, and this is where vitamin and mineral supplements really fall flat. You can use them as an insurance policy, and that's a good idea if you have it in the budget. You want to get a natural vitamin and mineral supplement, like I said, especially from the bones and raw food line, fantastic. You know your bases are all covered. But one thing that even the natural supplements miss is you won't get the polyphenols and some of the phytonutrients that are in the whole food sources. So that's why I'm pretty fanatical when we put out recipes on this channel to use a certain amount of vegetables and which type of vegetables to use, especially in combinations, when we cook our dog's food at home. Because healthy homemade dog food must include vegetables. Try to rotate the colors. Always go with a green and then a different color, whether it's an orange like a carrot or pumpkin. If you're gonna use red like a tomato or a bell pepper, any type of green, purples and reds. You can add things like blueberries if your dog's not on keto. Dark berries have a ton of polyphenols and vitamins that you're not gonna be able to get from a supplement. Something that we want to have in our homemade dog food are what I call the healthy essentials. Those are things like collagen, beta-glucans, turmeric, curcumin. We get those by varying our dog's food and making sure that their healthy homemade recipes are complete with all of these things. Because we can get collagen and vitamins and minerals from bone broth. Again, like we said, there's plenty of recipes for bone broth on this channel. Beta-glucans can come from things like turkey tail mushrooms or cordyceps mushrooms supplements. Never give your dog fresh mushrooms. It can be very dangerous for them. So stick with the supplement. Now that's a supplement I would very much recommend that you invest in. Turkey tail or cordyceps mushrooms. There are other types of mushrooms that are very beneficial for dogs. But we want to hear from you. So what experiences have you had with vitamins and minerals? Do you find they're getting enough from the dog food that you're cooking them? Do you use supplements? If so, which? Drop it in the comments below and we will check them out, and we'll be back next time with more ways to make their food even better, so they can live stronger and longer and happier and healthier, right?